Action! We're live. Not really though, this is a recording. It's me, Phoenix Dramano, with my good friend Joshua Flagger. We are both part of TribaLights, and Josh is one of our very first certified peer support workers, along with me. We both just did the training, but we go way back. And,
way back.
Yeah, I'm super stoked that you're here, man, to do this first podcast.
Yeah.
With me, the first of many. And
yeah,
dude, it's an honor to be here. I'm super, super grateful that, dude, our lives have been a whirlwind of chaos. And we went in our different directions, and then we spiraled together in harmony, in
resonance,
alignment with vision,
yeah,
purpose, and the path really of service that we both feel called to. And yeah, man, the name of the show is TribaLights, Illuminating Paths to Wellness.
Yes.
And I really want to spend some time giving you the opportunity to share your story.
Sure.
In a way that inspires people to change ultimately, and to get better, and to grow, and to learn from our experiences and all of the people's experiences that we're here to meet and to collaborate with, and to manifest the new earth, to ground it in. And
yeah,
I think that's kind of how we're describing it for now.
Yeah.
This collective vision that we're all feeling called to work on and to co-create.
To believe in,
yeah.
to see, to dream about.
Yeah. But before we get into that, let's start in the beginning, brother. What's your story? How did it...
Actually, real quick, I'd just love to share my medicine real quick, which is mantra and sound. And just to tune in together, 3 ohms. You beautiful people in the future, join in, and let's reach a higher vibration together. So just take a quick breath, nice deep breath all the way. And we'll chant Om on the next breath. Let it go. Take a nice big breath. Everyone in the here and now, everyone in the future. Let's see this beautiful new future together, and let it go. Thank you. So that mantra has given me great strength over the years. I've developed a beautiful relationship with the sound. Om, it's the simplest mantra out there, and it's the deepest. It's the universal resonance. And thank you for indulging me.
Yeah, brother. It's powerful, man. It's the power of vibration. And we've gone deep in many conversations regarding all the laws of metaphysics and spirituality, and so I'm really curious, just to know more and to let people have that insight into how it all began, and where was that turning point for you.
Thank you. Yeah, it's an honor to be here, first off, to be able to share. The turning point really began for me when I was 25. I had already been, we're talking about 2 different lenses, no pun intended, but there is a lens of addiction that really was a perspective of my life from, age 14 to really about 25 when I had my first awakening. And then there's another lens, a spiritual lens, when I engaged in a beautiful practice. I lived in a spiritual community for 5 years, just growing and soaking it up as a young man. So there's two different lenses that really were at play in my life. And between those two opposing forces, that friction created who you see before right now. It's given me, that friction has given me a fire and a strength to go through a lot of difficult times and to say no in a lot of really tempting situations. So this beautiful journey of achieving freedom from opiates while letting my heart and mind grow more free by the year. And so when I was 25, I've lived in an ashram. I lived in a Kundalini yoga community. I followed the Sikh path, which, for those who don't know, it's the world's fifth largest religion. It comes from India. It's about, don't quote me out there, I think it's about 450 years old, but it was a beautiful practice. And it instilled a lot of strength in me through the mantras and the shabad.
The waking up at 4 a.m.
Oh yeah, I was part of a community that we woke up at about 3:15, and then we would pray at 3:40. We would pray a Sikh prayer, and we would do Kundalini yoga for about 45 minutes, and then we would chant about 6 different chants each morning as a community, as a collective. And it was such an impactful practice. I didn't get up every day. I was there for 5 years, but I got up many mornings, many mornings. And you develop this relationship with the mantra, with the breath, with the early morning. Those early morning hours are sacred. I learned over time for many reasons.
Yeah. And something that we both relate with, and for myself, I found this, path myself, and was developing a yoga practice. And granted, it was because I injured my back, and was on painkillers, which turned into Suboxone, which, for those of you that don't know, it's a lot like methadone. And I was on that for almost a year. But during that time, I was still able to develop enough of a practice and maintain, good work ethic with my job. And I still did everything, but I don't know if I was allowing myself to go through the healing that needed to take place. And one could theorize, maybe that's what I needed at that time. And so when it comes to this type of service, with the type of services that we're offering here at Tico Time and TribaLights and the Reconnection Camp, being more in the behavioral health industry, and so needing to look at that, and that's part of your story as well.
Yeah.
And so it's hard, and not everyone is the same.
No.
So, maybe some people don't need it at all, and maybe some people need it for much longer than others. And so, we are always forging our own path, and really that's why we wanted to create the title of this show, The Path to Wellness. And so, the Sikh path is beautiful, and I know it's benefited a lot of people, but there's been a lot of stigma also around it, Yogi Bhajan, right?
Indeed.
So I think with what we're trying to create here, it's really about, for me at least, recognizing all the different modalities and paths and philosophies and teachings, books
Right.
that resonate really for me.
Yeah.
And becoming a pathfinder, right? And finding my path. And
Yes.
so I'm here to share my path now with others, but it's really supporting them in finding their own path.
Yeah.
And so, the Sikh and the Kundalini yoga doesn't really work that well for me.
Yeah.
I do like it, but it's not something that I would want to incorporate into my practice, like on a regular, everyday basis. But that's okay. Like, I like ecstatic dance more.
Yeah.
And
yeah, the truth is, this was back in 2007, and I've engaged in many practices since then. Many beautiful practices that really resonate with me now, and where I'm here and now.
yeah.
So, yeah, spirituality is a beautiful unfolding flower, and the less attached you are to the outcome, the more interesting the colors get. And so, I've explored many paths in the last 17 years. And dancing is one that I'm learning more and more about.
And so,
Yeah.
It's fun, right, to be able to come up with like a hybrid of your own practice. And so what are you doing now to...
Yeah. So like there's a term called sadhana, 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 spiritual discipline. And I've found over the years, I've really engaged in a lot of purposeful discipline, getting up, chanting for so many minutes, for so many days. But, these days my sadhana is a natural outcome of my desires and feelings. I naturally wake up early because I want to, because I get to. I naturally wake up and breathe, I do something called Kriya Yoga. It's from Paramahansa Yogananda Self-Realization Fellowship, or it's a similar Kriya, and I do that every day. And I there's no discipline about it anymore. It's just my sadhana has just become a natural expression. And so I do that for a long time, at least an hour, just to state it. Not that I'm anything special. I'm really not. It's just a natural expression of who I am at this moment. And then,
do you think that was because of all the practice in the Sikh tradition, or?
Definitely developing a core relationship with the sound current of different mantras so I can't say it's anything specific of the sound itself or the fact that I've spent all these years chanting it with intention and meaning. Right. I think it's probably both. So they become like living expressions of who I am. Each time I chant, which to sum it up, I do maybe in about an hour of chanting as well in the morning. And these mantras become living expressions of something great. And so that is my current spiritual discipline, sadhana. Of course, I get in the ice. I get in ice baths whenever I can. I love to create a little bit of friction and challenge for myself with either cardio or heat, sauna, or ice. These are all amazing tools that I've just learned to engage with in the last truthfully, since 2007. I've been taking cold showers, but with true intention the last 4 or 5 years. And there's almost nothing more clarifying to one's psychology than getting into that ice each morning and breathing and letting your being be at peace in the tough times. There's really nothing harder you're going to do that day, is really what I often say to myself and others. Like you get your breathing out of the way, you get your whatever you choose to do out of the way, just however you go inside, whatever brings you to the point of consciousness of your heart, that's your sadhana. That's your spiritual discipline. Maybe it's looking at cute baby photos, whatever makes you say, oh. I can't do that high-pitched voice, but yeah, man, that is my current discipline.
Nice, dude. I really, I'm looking forward to like actually having more people here and having the group to hold me accountable.
Yeah.
Because I know once that takes place, I will, step up to the calling. It's been difficult though, just being on my own, and I really crave this, community style of living for my family.
Yeah.
And me, most of all. And yeah, dude, I know so much of this is possible, and it's always available too. Like right before we did this, I was feeling a little overwhelmed by all the waves of moving pieces, moving parts, and I just didn't even say anything. I'm like,
yep.
Just went for it, man. And
we just breathe when things get difficult. We just do it naturally. It's wonderful.
It's just a beautiful medicine that we forget about so often.
Yeah.
And I think that's why I really love this term that we just came up with, the breath finder.
Yes.
And yeah, man, I'm just so excited to build off of that and
to find one's breath.
Yeah. There's actually this term when I spent time in Maui that I learned that the natives use they call them howlies.
Yeah.
And what it actually translates to is one without breath.
Exactly. Yeah. Because they breathe up here. We need to breathe down here. Get that full prana, that full chi expression.
Right. You can actually breathe all the way into your feet. The oxygen fills the blood, and that blood travels through the body. And with that awareness, I feel like we can actually breathe in through the whole body. And yeah, to really build off of that, and just the term itself kind of pointing to the idea that we're always finding our breath.
Exactly.
In every moment. Like we've never arrived. We're always just living in one moment to the next. And the best anchor into each moment is the breath.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like, for me, when I found my breath, when I found that my body was like essentially a Corvette, when I learned how to work the gears of my breath correctly, everything changed. I learned how to run for, long distances without really any training. I learned how to change my state of being whenever needed. This gearbox of breath is available to all of us, and
it's just wild how we're never taught.
Yeah, like if I had known this when I was 16, we are here. So
right,
we are here.
Yeah, and so many of the other tools as well. Having these initiations at a young age could have been really helpful.
Oh yeah, I mean, we could dip into that a little.
Yeah.
Just for fun.
And I know we're still kind of brainstorming on what that looks like even now.
Right.
It's not really clear. We've been mainly focusing on adults, but it's really important. We both had an experience at the Rise and Vibe Festival where we, the week prior, had built a 42-foot geodesic dome, which is a great team building exercise.
Absolutely.
And thank you to
How long will it take? 8 hours.
Yeah.
It took like 4 days.
4 days. But thank
Optimism.
you to Chaitanya, shout out,
Yeah.
Tribal Vision.
Tribal Vision.
Yeah, that's
Beautiful time.
yeah. And so we were able to use the dome, and it drew a lot of people in that were really curious to learn more about the Eco Village and the Reconnection Camp and the festival. But one of the experiences was when a group of kids came in, and we had a big gong set up, and they were really curious to know what it was.
Yeah.
And that got us to start the conversation about vibration and how everything in the universe is vibration, and your ears can only pick up a small bandwidth when there's actually so much more, which the gong can actually play the whole spectrum of vibration.
Oh, yeah.
And so they got really curious, and we had them ohm together as we played the gong. And they had a little bit of an experience, enough that when we asked them if they knew who Wim Hof was, and if they knew anything about breath work, they became curious, and about a quarter of them left, but the rest stayed, and they breathed with us.
Yeah.
And, it was just...
It was a lot of fun, you know, just showing someone of a young age their first breath technique was really an honor. And, you know, who knows what seeds are planted.
Yeah. And they were like 13, 14.
Yeah, I mean...
So, I mean, who knows, you know?
The breath finders.
Yeah. Just all that to say, you know, that we do know that investing energy into that age group would be a really wise investment.
Yeah. Yeah, it kind of changed our conversations a little, for sure.
Yeah.
And it's continuing to change our conversations.
Yeah. So, you know, having an initiation, some kind of ritual, whether it's hunting, spending time alone,
Yeah.
Spending time in a darkness retreat.
Indeed.
You know, maybe even sitting with some kind of medicine, if they're old enough. And yeah, if I would have known everything that the medicine has shared with me at that age, my life would have been completely different. And
Maybe
yeah,
the earth wasn't ready.
yeah, and that's okay, because it's the journey.
It's about the journey and the training. You're always training for a job that you don't know you're training for.
Yeah, it's every moment in an experience in life, there's a lesson.
Yeah.
And a lot of times when we look back, we can see the reason for a lot of the challenging moments in life. And I know that when a lot of people have this moment of awakening, they'll also realize much of that for themselves. And we can only continue to hold space and hold events and do outreach and share the vision with more people. And as those hearts heal, they will in turn share that message of healing with others. And I believe, and I have so much hope for the future. Just super grateful to be here. And
Yeah.
yeah, brother, it's amazing.
In this time, in this space.
And we could go so much deeper into so many different things. I don't know how much time we're at now, but I feel like we're 20, 30 minutes. Yeah. So I think we could do it here.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely.
We'll do
honor people.
Yeah, we'll do another episode.
Yeah.
And we'll keep these short. This is our first one, so I like, 25, 30 minutes.
Yeah.
And yeah, continue to follow us. We're going to have this YouTube channel, TribaLights, Illuminating Paths to Wellness. We'll have more guests on in the future, and Josh will come and tune back in. We'll be up and running here in the next month, and so I'm sure we'll have a lot of insights to share.
Indeed.
And
each day is a new experience.
Yeah, and we're also going to document, more of the things happening here at Tico Time on a separate, what do you call it?
Platform?
Playlist. On the same channel, we're going to create a playlist, the Illuminating the Paths to Convergence, which is the Holistic Wellness Festival we're putting on from September 12th through the 15th. You can get your tickets at TribaLights.org, and it's going to be an amazing experience. It's also the grand opening and a fundraiser for the Reconnection Camp, soft launching here this summer with the grand opening at Convergence. So please join us, support us.
Many exciting artists, maybe a very exciting artist.
Yeah, and if you need support, we're here. We're taking Medicaid. There's an enroll button, so if you're someone that's out there and you're feeling like you need some support, from peer support workers, certified now.
Yes.
Please fill out an application at the Reconnection Camp programs page under the enroll application, and we will reach out soon. Until then, much love, many blessings.
May you keep finding your breath.
Find your breath. Become a breath finder.